Coming up on this edition of We Are Washington.
A big investment in DC public schools pays dividends. Plus, could a DC football legend be heading to the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
If you compare some of the numbers, they're comparable if Larry's are not better.
Why Larry Brown might soon be wearing a gold jacket.
And then it's a takeover of the DC Wharf. The cuteness is unleashed at the annual running of the Chihuahuas.
We'll have those stories coming up. The news rundown is straight ahead. We Are Washington starts now. Welcome to We Are Washington. I'm Matt Granato.
And I'm Cecily Fernandez. This week, we're talking about test results that show DC students making gains in English and math, a ribbon cutting decades in the making at Hyde-Addison Elementary School, and an important anniversary with our sister city, San Salvador.
Then it's the most entertaining way to celebrate for dog lovers. We'll bring you to the District Wharf for the 8th annual Running of the Chihuahuas. We'll have those features coming up on the way, but now let's get to the news rundown.
DC public school students continue to make gains in both English and math, according to recent citywide testing. Mayor Bowser announced the results of the 2019 Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers, or PARC. The testing shows that DC students have made improvements in both English and math for the 4th consecutive year in a row.
When we look in particular at the results since last year, we see gains of nearly 4 points in English language arts and more than a point in mathematics across our city.
What's important to us is that the numbers, whatever they are, reflect the student's experience, so that we can be assured that when they graduate and they have a diploma from one of our schools, that it reflects achievement of content knowledge and mastery of programs, and also their abilities to succeed in college or succeed in their job of choice.
Whittier Education Campus in Ward 4 posted the best gains in the PARC results. The pre-K through 8th grade school recorded overall double-digit increases in both English and math.
The wait is over for students at Hyde-Addison Elementary as Mayor Bowser cut the ribbon on the newly modernized school in Ward 2. The $47 million renovation project includes a new playground, media center, and rock climbing wall.
As a part of our capital commitment is ensuring that we continue to increase the number of highly rated schools in DCPS. And to do that, we know that the learning space that our students have is critical to ensuring that we realize that goal. So as we think about a great elementary school, great middle school, great high school, we know that the learning space has to be a top-rate facility and a gold standard.
Hyde-Addison has a total capacity of 400 students from all over the district in pre-K through 5th grade. 4 other newly modernized DCPS schools will welcome students this fall. They include Coolidge High School, Ida B. Wells Middle, Maury Elementary, and Kimball Elementary School. Businesses, nonprofits, and faith-based organizations are being asked to join the effort to help students stay safe.
Mayor Bowser's Safe Spots initiative provides areas of support along corridors frequently used by students going to and from school. Organizations participating in the Safe Spots initiative commit to opening their doors to students who feel unsafe and providing them with an opportunity to call a friend. The organizations are identified by a clearly visible Safe Spot sign. The initiative was developed with input from students and is part of the Safe Passage program.
We picked the Safe Passage routes because those were routes that was easily traveled by students, and it's a place that they should feel safe traveling to and from school. Public and private partnerships are essential for policing. The police is the community, and the community is the police. And when the community watch out for one another, only then can the city be safer.
The initiative is launching with 23 locations in the Ward 8 neighborhoods of Congress Heights and Anacostia. For more information on the Safe Spots program, visit safepassage.dc.gov.
A young resident helped Mayor Bowser cut the ribbon on a new short-term family housing development called the Sterling. The Ward 5 housing site includes 46 family-sized units, computer labs for residents, an outdoor playground, and a study lounge. Mayor Bowser says the Sterling is part of an overall commitment to replace the DC General Shelter with smaller, more dignified programs in all 8 wards. The district celebrated the 1-year anniversary of its sister city partnership with San Salvador.
To mark the occasion, Mayor Bowser presented San Salvador Mayor Ernesto Mason the key to the city. The 2 mayors signed the sister city agreement to establish a cooperative relationship in various areas such as economic development, public safety, sustainability, culture, and education.
1 year ago, we made history by bringing Washington, D.C. and San Salvador together to work towards one common goal: building stronger communities in both our cities. More than 300,000 Salvadorans live in the D.C. region, and they continue to make tremendous contributions not only to our local economy, but to the culture of the city itself. Salvadorans have played an important role in building the diverse, inclusive, and thriving Washington, D.C. we live in today.
Mayor Bowser, you have been a pillar in the defense of the rights of our countrymen here in the United States. And because of that, in the name of all Salvadorians, we give you a very special thank you.
Mayor Muriel Bowser marked Women's Equality Day with a celebration at Hook Hall in Northwest. The 5th annual Women's Equality Day celebration commemorates the passage of the 19th Amendment giving women the right to vote, which became law on August 26, 1920.
From beauty bosses and mindful breathing to celebrating future stars, the 2019 Ubiquitous Women's Expo was all about revitalizing the mind, body, and soul. Among the performers at the 6th annual expo were Chrisette Michelle and Vivian Green. There were also a wide range of panel discussions on everything from reality TV to financial literacy. And Mayor Bowser was among the attendees enjoying the expo. A new DC-based awards program honors the best in digital content by people of color. The creator of the Capital City Web Awards says he wants to provide a space for peer recognition of content that has been traditionally under-recognized by mainstream awards.
I'm very proud of the fact that, we have all of these beautiful nominees here, and it's well-deserved. I'm looking forward to the feedback because I know it's going to be a great show, and I just want to see how it encourages other people.
The Capital City Web Awards does help with acknowledgement and acceptance and awareness of Black art because we're here, it's shining that microscope on talent.
It might be 2019, but it's still Hammer time. DC got to bust a move with Hammer's house party at the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Congress Heights. The throwback tour featured Sir Mix-a-Lot, Kid and Play, DJ Cool, Tone Loc, and Young MC, and everyone enjoyed the chance to relive the good old days. This is the first major tour by Hammer since 1991. Now, everybody knows Hammer time, but for me, it was always too legit to quit.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
that was always mine, yeah. So
that was your go-to song?
That was my go-to.
When you were in what elementary school?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. This was a long time ago, yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, it wasn't quite as long for me, but I want to say I think those guys are holding up pretty well.
Absolutely.
Good to see.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on, we have another story we want to talk about. This is special for us in Washington, D.C., the San Salvador Sister City program.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Celebrating its 1-year anniversary, and, the mayor handing the key to the city to the mayor of San Salvador. Great partnership. And it's nice that we get to celebrate it here.
Yeah, and I have to say it was pretty emotional for a lot of Salvadorans who make DC their home.
Yeah.
In fact, the executive director for the mayor's office on Latino Affairs, who was involved in the presentation, she immigrated from El Salvador, so it was quite moving for her.
Also, I want to move on to the Safe Spot. The new Safe Spot program. This is again another part of Safe Passage in Washington, D.C., where it's helping students get to and from school safely. I think one of the really interesting parts about this program is that, when you heard about it from Richard Wright Public Charter School, and you heard about it in its initial stages and some of the other schools that followed thereafter, it was a lot done by the students that got it moved forward. And the same is true here. The students are saying, this is something that we need to see happen, and let's have a conversation on how we can do that, and they're helping make it happen. So I think that that's really important to make this program successful.
Yeah, it's great to see that they're being listened to.
Absolutely. Finally today, making some investments in DC public schools, and it's starting to pay off. We're seeing some modernized schools. We're seeing some of that reflected in test scores and improvements. So a lot happening with DC public schools and the new changes that are going on there.
It's amazing when you see these schools that have been modernized, what a difference it makes. And imagine for these kids going back to school to start fresh with a beautiful new modernized school. It's really nice for them and the parents. And I wanted to say at Hyde-Addison, through the modernization, they also were able to add 2 new kindergarten classrooms, which is important because DC is growing so much. We need a lot of that early education.
Absolutely, that's right.
Well, more ahead as We Are Washington continues. The movement to get a DC football legend in the Professional Football Hall of Fame gains momentum in the district.
And then cuteness is unleashed with the 8th annual running of the Chihuahuas. In professional sports, there's no bigger honor than being named to the National Football League Hall of Fame. Here in Washington, D.C., dozens of players have had that honor bestowed on them from the Washington Redskins. But today, some big-name players, some Hall of Famers in fact, are making the case that one more name needs to be added to that list.
69 Pro Bowl, 888 yards.
3-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowl selection.
I had never witnessed an NFL running back who played the game with such intensity, ferocity, determination, and abandon.
That running back, Redskins legend Larry Brown. These fans and former players are gathered at the fields at RFK Stadium making the case for Brown's consideration for the NFL Hall of Fame.
To watch Larry Brown in this community, it really made you proud to be a Redskin fan. By the way he played the game of football, no one fought harder than Larry Brown. No one did it with more class.
I think this mission that I have in terms of getting into the Hall of Fame is one that I can't ignore because of all the support I've been given over the years.
Brown's 8-year professional career was spent exclusively with the Washington Redskins.
More than any other player, Larry Brown made the Redskins. He put the Redskins on the map.
Even though Brown's career lasted from 1969 to 1976, a time when fewer NFL games were played, the running back still managed to record statistics that would impress by modern standards.
There's a lot of running backs in the Hall of Fame who had shorter careers than Larry. And if you compare some of the numbers, they're comparable, if Larry's are not better.
Supporters argue the numbers aren't the only reason Brown has already earned a spot in Canton.
What drew me to Larry as a fan was not his Hall of Fame worthy credentials. Rather, it was the powerful and indomitable spirit with which he played the game.
Larry strikes me as that kind of guy that wouldn't speak up for himself, and I felt like I wanted to come out today to say, hey, you matter, your body of work matters, and hopefully the Hall of Fame will reconsider and take a good look at you.
There's no guarantee this event will propel Larry Brown to the Hall of Fame, but Brown says he'll always appreciate the support and encouragement.
I want to sincerely thank thousands and thousands of fans from the DC metropolitan area, as well as nationwide, who have given me the ultimate support along my journey.
Whether the Redskins legend eventually makes the trip to Canton, Ohio, or lives forever in Washington Redskins lore, almost everyone agrees there's no one playing the game today like Larry Brown.
In this generation, I don't see a running back that has that style.
He played with what they called reckless abandon, and you can look at the highlights of Larry Brown. He's flying through the air. He would give up his body on every single run. I don't think there are any running backs out there right now at his size that would be willing to give up their body like he did when he ran the football.
Anyone who saw Larry play felt Larry play. You could feel him play whether you're on the sideline or watching him on television. You're a dominant football player. You carried our team on your back. Your teammates loved you, your coaches love you, and obviously the fans love you.
I really hope that happens for him.
Yeah.
Great to see that.
It would be good to see. And, you know, one of the things that there has been talk about over the years with Larry Brown is that he played at a time when the NFL season was shorter. And he also had a shorter career relative to other Hall of Fame inductees. So a lot of times, you know, as much as his numbers stand up and as much as people are interested in him being in the Hall of Fame, those are some of the issues that people talk about. But you know, as far as DC football fans are concerned, and as far as he's concerned, there are a lot of people who say that doesn't matter. His style of play has not been replicated by anybody since, and he's the type of player who's been exemplary on the field during his career, and is later in life done things that have you know, pushed that idea forward that he's the person who needs to be in the Hall of Fame. And you saw all of the people in the package talking about him and supporting him. These are players from other teams. These are peers. These are other people involved who say it's time, it's overdue for Larry Brown.
That's probably the most important recognition. But for what it's worth, he has my vote.
Oh, okay, good. That's great. All right. Well, they are all adorable, but only one can take home the gold. We'll show you the winner of the 8th annual Running of the Chihuahuas.
Are nervous, the dogs are in costume, and the packed crowds at the wharf can't get enough. It's all part of the highly entertaining 8th annual Running of the Chihuahuas. Take a look. With participants as varied as their owners, it was hard to know just what to expect at the 8th annual Running of the Chihuahuas. Some had an entourage. Some were dressed to impress. And for many, the chaotic competition is strictly a spectator sport.
You know, the first year we hoped we would have 20 dogs, and we had about 60 show up. And then it's just grown from there. We're at 128 racers today. So what's great is it's always been for charity. So all the money that the racers pay to race goes directly to Rural Dog Rescue.
Any pointers you'd give to prospective racers about how to make it to the top here at the Running of the Chihuahuas?
I would say train early, train often. The biggest thing is making sure the dog understands that he's running to the person at the other end of the track.
Turns out that's easier said than done. Most of the excited runners were interested in just about everything but the finish line.
How many dogs do you have racing today? 2 dogs?
Gigi and Bruno.
How'd the first dog do?
She was down there sniffing. She wasn't running.
She didn't run. She didn't know. She wouldn't decided, you know what? Oh, it's a lot. It's very intimidating.
Win or lose, these die-hard Chihuahua fans had nothing but love for their racers.
Is Ernesto the winner?
No,
Oh,
we wish
okay.
he was.
Oh,
He's our winner in our
still
heart.
a winner.
Yes.
Oh, you did great, Ernesto.
In the end, it was a confident Chihuahua named Tigo that won the day.
So is this Chewy's first annual Chihuahua run?
Yeah, it is his first time.
Now, I have to tell you that I've talked to some of the winners, and a lot of the winners have experience. So don't give up on Chewy. No.
Definitely won't. We're going to train a little bit and be back next year for sure.
And for the rest of the cute contenders, there's always next year.
You were in the lead.
You can use that all the time as your back.
Okay, so Chihuahuas are small dogs, but when you have that many of them in one place,
Yes, it's
it's overwhelming. Mayhem.
Yes, it's
That's
mayhem.
the word. It's mayhem.
But in the best possible way.
Yeah.
A big congratulations to little Tigo for winning the race.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some breaking news.
Okay.
Everybody needs to look out for the 8th annual Dachshund Dash.
Oh, the Dachshund Dash.
Yes.
So similar, but with dachshunds.
Similar, but with dachshunds,
Wow.
exactly.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today, but we do have time for one last thing. We were discussing earlier the sister city agreement with San Salvador and their mayor, Ernesto Mason. Now, he gave Mayor Bowser a gift.
Right.
Mayor Bowser gave him the key to Washington, D.C.
Mayor, I also want to present to you a high honor from all of us in Washington, D.C. And I am very stingy about sharing it. I've been mayor for 5 years, and I have only presented a handful of these plaques because it really represents the highest honor of 702,000 Washingtonians to an individual who has demonstrated great support, exemplary service, and friendship to our city. So on behalf of all of us, I present Ernesto Mason, Mayor of San Salvador, the key to Washington, D.C.
Not bad.
Now, that's a great gift to come away with from your Sister City celebration. Now, one thing that was interesting about this exchange was that the mayor made mention that she hasn't really given out the key to Washington, D.C. that often during her tenure as mayor. I wanted to know, because it got me thinking, do you know who some of the other recipients of the key, like what kind of company is Ernesto Mason keeping with holding the key to Washington, D.C.?
I would imagine. I don't love being put on the spot.
Well, you know,
Thank you.
But here we are.
Well, here we are. I
Okay.
do remember one because we covered it.
All right.
I think I recall that Dave Chappelle was given a key to the city.
Ding, ding, ding. That's right.
Yes.
You're correct. Dave Chappelle. Bryce Harper received the key as well.
Now he's going to have to give it back. No,
No, well, I don't know
Once
about
you
that.
get it, you
I
have
think
it
you
forever.
have it.
Okay.
Yeah. So he keeps pretty good company.
Yeah.
That's a pretty nice club to be in for the mayor of San Salvador.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that is all the time that we have for today. We want to thank you for joining us and let you know that if you want to see this episode, the next episode, the one before it, all the features that we've done, you can go check that out right now. Today, you can go to YouTube and search Entertain DC. We're putting up new features and new content all the time, so make sure you keep up to date there.
See you next time.